What's good, fam? It's your boy Jorge. Welcome to another episode of Hanging with the Boys. I got my friend Hater Dave in the studio.
Pilot to co-pilot, here I am. Once again, I've been called upon.
Yeah, Mace, MIA.
That's all right. He's probably having a good time.
That or a bad one, I don't know. He's missing in action, so the pod has to continue. There's a lot of topics going on, a lot of important things that we should let our fan base know about, and especially our opinions, because our opinion is really what matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much shit going on.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've hit, the end of March, entering April, and we're possibly going into the end of the world with this eclipse. I don't know if you know much about that.
This is conspiracy talk?
Kind of.
Okay. All right.
I mean, everything basically is.
Yeah.
Because if it was facts, then we'd be fucked.
You know what, to be honest with you, I'm so fucking confused with all the media outlets right now. I mean, you got the prime ones, on television still, cable and whatnot, but beyond that, like all the social media outlets and stuff, I don't even know it's real anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, that's the shitty thing about social media and how it runs everything so fast.
Yeah.
That on your podcast, you guys were talking about that Bruno Mars.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah. I got totally sold on that.
Yeah. So that's the problem is someone pulls out the story that Bruno Mars owes $50 million to MGM in gambling debt.
Right.
Bruno Mars also performs at the MGM.
Right.
So like he's making money there. So I could see maybe if he has like a little gambling addiction, I don't know. But the fact is the story's so big and you don't really hear much about Bruno Mars. He's such a A-list celebrity that everyone gravitates to it and everyone has to. You don't want to be the last person like us right now.
Yeah.
Talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So everyone does it without actually doing the research. And then it comes out when MGM comes out and they're like, that's not true. We have a good relationship with Bruno Mars.
You know how much time happened between the release of that and
like a day.
That was it.
The very next day.
Did he square it up in between times?
I mean, maybe. But, so it's one of those things where it seems like it wasn't true, but everyone ran with it for a day because they don't want to be left out. And that's what I'm saying with the speed of social media. That's kind of like the landscape now where you have to bring out the news on everything that everyone else is doing or else you're the last one. If you're the last one, no one's paying attention to you. Right. And then with that, you get fake news.
And so I guess that's a good base to use though. Like when you have that's a great story to look at and then go look at the sources that you heard it from. Did they go in and redact or make an update to that? And if they didn't, they'd be like, all right, I got to kick that. Yeah. Kick that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I wonder who the first news outlet was that came out.
Or even where that came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
All right. Well.
Hey, but speaking of being filthy rich, man in New Jersey wins the 1.13 billion mega millions this past Tuesday night.
Jesus.
So he actually used his own numbers. And from what I've heard is letting the machines pick your number, you have a better odds than using your own number. Okay. Right. So I think more winners in the past have gotten it through random chance than actually using pick numbers. Okay. So the number were 7, 11, 22, 29, 38, and the mega number was 4. So that's pretty crazy.
Do you know if New Jersey is one of the states where they can stay anonymous, or because that's like a big topic? Like, hey, do they have to come out within 3 months? Yeah. Sometimes you can stay completely anonymous, and other times they're like, well, we'll give you a year to kind of square everything away. Yeah. And then your name has to be released for the for the sanctity of the lotto, so everyone feels like it's just.
Yeah, I don't know, but from what I gathered from this article, it said like. It was like, lucky son of a bitch. He claimed the number. He claimed the ticket already. So, like, he won on Tuesday and he already claimed it. He was like, hey, I got it. Like,
fucking no delay, huh?
Yeah, no delay, nothing. Like, let me figure stuff out like you're saying.
What's your take on that?
I mean, I'd do the same.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd call him up and be like, yo, this is me. I don't want to die between now and a month when I go in. And
holy shit, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I'd have to contact like a fucking tax attorney and find the best, lotto lawyer and be like, hey, you got to go represent me. I don't, especially if you can stay anonymous. Yeah. But
well, here we can, right? Or California.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I have a question. So this guy picked numbers that he usually does. I have numbers, but the numbers I have is from someone that used to gamble a lot, and that was their lucky numbers.
Yeah.
And they passed away, and they had bought a lottery ticket, so I have it, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep up the tradition whenever I do go.
Yeah.
So I have those, right? But how devastating would it be going in, checking out the numbers that won, and they're on my list, and I didn't play them?
Yeah, that would be. You know what? The chances of that happening are so rare too. I mean, obviously, if you gotta play, you gotta play first of all. But so the odds are better that they just come up because you're not playing every time. But the odds are so rare that would happen. Even still, it's just like, I don't know. I guess you'd kick yourself in the nuts. You'd probably change your numbers immediately.
Yeah, well, you can't use those numbers anymore. Yeah. But like, you had the numbers, and if you would have played, you would have won.
Right. Wow, it sucks.
That'd be crazy.
I go back to the same story. You've heard it once or twice before, but the same thing happened to me in the crypto world. I read about Bitcoin in 2009, and I was like, "Wow, I should just throw $1,000 in there, dude." Next 10 generations would be taken care of right now. I mean, granted, if I kept my money in there that long, but needless to say, it's like hitting the lotto. Like I would have just been sitting pretty, even the first bump up to 10 grand. Doesn't feel good.
Well, but in that same scenario, put it at 2009 or 10, you said?
Yeah.
So put it at 2009 or 10. You're what age? And then you get it. 10 years later, you went up quite a bit. Realistically, you think you would have sold or you would have held?
Well, I'd like to think I would be educated a little bit more like I am now about financial stuff. And hopefully I would have just taken bits out at a time to been like, oh, okay. Hey, you know what? My first purchase on a house, $1 million. Here we go.
So I'm just saying, like, imagine doing that back in 2009.
Yeah.
And then going like 4 or 5 years when it did go up and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you sold everything. And then 2020, 2021 hits when it was like at the highest. Well, it's at the highest right now, I think. And you already sold all your shit.
Yeah, because back then it was like it was less than it was like 17 cents a Bitcoin, something like that. When I was reading about it in Money Magazine, I was like, holy shit, this is kind of cool. And I was like, well, $1,000 ain't nothing. Even at that point in my life, I was like, I mean, it's worth a risk if it just sits there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have ever been like, okay, well, I'll take 20% of that now and let it ride. Because even in like 2014 or something, and I just happened to look at a graph just recently because I was like, damn, where's it at and where's it been? In 2014, it was like $347 a Bitcoin, right? So even at that point, you would have been probably a multimillionaire.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You see that big number and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You take it all out and then you could have waited. So it's all gambling. That's why I don't gamble.
No.
I got Bitcoin and all those, a few other coins right now, and they ain't doing much.
Yeah. What, your Bitcoin?
Bitcoin's all right, but I don't have much of it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like an eighth of a Bitcoin, I hope.
I don't know.
That would still be, $10,000. Yeah, so.
But yeah, congratulations. I think there's still one. So that was the Mega Million. And I think not the Super Lotto, but the other one, that one's at $1 billion.
Wow.
That one was like pretty close to the same. So we'll see. In other news, Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore has gone down.
Oh my God. The conspiracy theories are flying, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Have you seen some of the footage? They're like, how does a ship turn? It turned directly. And you can't turn one of those huge ships fast.
Yeah.
So they're like hundreds of yards out, turning and aiming straight for it and then run right into where the bridge comes out, like dead center shot. A bullseye. Couldn't have planned it any better. And then the video that I saw went on to say, what happened to this? So many thousands of trucks travel over that bridge a day. Now they have to be rerouted, and toxic chemical stuff now has to go in a completely different thing. And one of those things is diesel. And, of course, that's going to raise I'm like, there's better ways to sabotage the U.S. if you want to do it, I think. But, of course, that's what's going around.
Yeah. I mean, I did see one that was saying, like, this ain't 2000 anymore, where planes are going to go straight into a buildings.
Yeah.
Because now we have like smartphones. People are not going to buy that shit anymore.
Right.
So if you don't think this is an attack on America, you're sadly mistaken.
Right.
Because it is, but it's just in a different way now. It's not going to be the same way as back in the day or whatever. And it's like, all right, let's settle down. But it is kind of
right. I'm like, okay.
It is kind of suspicious. I did see the video today actually, and it showed because they said they had electrical failure.
Yeah.
So it showed like the lights on, and it was actually like, so say this mic is the pillar that holds that part of the bridge up, right?
Right.
So it looked like it was going this way.
Yeah.
Like it was gonna go right past it. So it loses power. You can see like the lights go off, and then it starts turning. And then the lights come back on, so it regains power, and it turns a little bit more. And then it loses power, regains, and then right before it hits, it loses power again. And it's like, if you guys wouldn't have turned at all, you would have like missed it.
Right.
But it's like you almost just turned exactly to hit it.
Yeah, and some of the things I saw was like, oh well, ships are so emergency ready anymore. You can steer a ship with no power now.
Yeah.
Like, or backup generators. I don't know what the hell they were saying, but I was just like, well, okay,
Yeah. So, and then my other thing is, I'm not a seaman.
Yeah. So
I don't really know like how that stuff works, but dude, the way that bridge fell almost looked fake.
Oh, really?
So obviously it fell like it, but I saw photos of like getting onto the bridge. It's like a legit bridge. It's 4 lanes with the center divider and stuff. It's a big bridge. It's not small.
Yeah.
And the way it just like fell, it was like
just crippled.
Yeah.
Was it kind of scary to think the bridge can just
fall that easy? Yeah. Like it was nothing. Like it's not an actual like legit structure that thousands of vehicles pass by every day.
Right.
Or pass on. So like that to me looked kind of fake, and I'm like, how did it fall so easy? It's almost like it was already cut, you know what I mean? Right. So it hit, and then it was just all like you figure
so are you on team conspiracy or no?
No, I don't know, because I said like I don't really know how that stuff works.
All right.
As far as
you're kind of preluding into something that I'm
just throwing it out there, but I know the freight liner or whatever you call it, the boat, was humongous.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know like how fast it was going.
Right.
And if the power was off, like obviously like the propellers aren't working.
Right.
So like how does it have so much speed?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then like, and then when it hits the cement, structure, how is it not strong enough to like withhold a hit from a boat?
Well, I think the cement part goes down into the water.
Yeah.
But shortly after it comes out of the water, it turns into the steel stuff that goes into the bridge.
Yeah.
Those ships sit so high above the water that I think the top of the ship ran into the bridge structure itself.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, how is it not that strong where
I don't know,
a boat that's carrying thousands of tons of cargo that probably isn't going that fast takes it out that easy? I'm just saying that easy, but I don't know. Maybe just the boat, like the force of it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's iron.
Yeah, and no one, there's no video of it because all the videos are like slow.
Right.
It hits and then it just like collapses, but like there's no like actual like real like video where it shows like maybe the boat was going super fast.
Right.
Like so it's hard to tell really what.
I don't think those boats move too fast.
I'm just saying I don't know. So, but that was kind of weird. But it was a 1.6 mile stretch that fell. So I don't think the whole, like the beginning and the end or whatever you want to call it, those didn't fall, but like the whole middle part fell. So 1.6 miles of bridge.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot, dude.
How long's that bridge total?
Probably 2 miles.
Jesus
two and a half.
Christ. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a size reference. Because if you look up that video, it's like, oh yeah, it looks like a bridge. Like who knows how long it is? Like maybe a couple hundred yards.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It looks like a small bridge when it gets taken out. But if you look at photos of actually getting onto the bridge, it's a legit like Golden State Bridge or any bridge in San Francisco. Like that's pretty gnarly. And that like unlocks my fear, because the only time I probably ever had anxiety in my life is driving on those bridges in San Francisco.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're it's kind of like, a little dicey.
But it's never, like when I'm in the middle and I can't see anything, it's like driving on a regular road, right?
Right.
They're so big. But when you're on the edge and you can see like I'm like, dude, this is scary.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah.
What about flying? That doesn't bother you?
Well, flying's scary, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like,
yeah, flying. I'm like into physics and stuff, so like knowing how a plane works, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But when there's turbulence and shit, you're like, how much turbulence can these things withstand?
Yeah.
Like last flight I took was just last week, and we landed sideways, and I was like, and I was in the back row. It was the worst. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Isn't that the safest place in the plane, the back?
Well, that's what they say. Yeah, I mean, is there a safe place if a plane crashes? Probably not. But I mean, you're most likely to live back there. But just by chance, I was on the back row. I swear it's bad luck because 2 out of 2 times in the back row now, I'm like, worst flights I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Like fucking, we landed in Reno like this, like going down the runway like this, and then we catch and it goes. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I'll take that any day though.
Really?
That crash? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to someone not that long ago, and we were talking about flights, and they're like, dude, mid-flight, I just panic, and I get like a panic attack. Well, that's weird. Well, not to like freak you out because we're all going to get on a plane tomorrow.
Yeah.
But takeoff scares me because I've heard most accidents happen on takeoff.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, cool. Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying.
after that,
you freak out in midair when already the plane's going and they got all the instruments working. So if there's something that's going to happen, they probably would get like...
Yeah, within the first 15 minutes of the flight is usually when they like, have a serious
something could
issue,
happen. Yeah, exactly.
That's just, but the odds of that happening is like hitting a lotto.
Well, shit. Yeah.
Maybe not that bad, but yeah, it's pretty small chance.
Yeah.
But, Boeing's upping those odds for us daily.
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, so that's the thing. Like it's... The scary stuff is not knowing like how things work, and that's where like I'm driving on a bridge and it's like moving, swaying and stuff, and you're like, holy shit. And then so that's what's scary because I don't know anything about like making bridges or how bridges work and stuff. But if you did know all that, you'd be like, oh dude, they're super safe.
Yeah.
You know about airplanes, you're like, oh man, that's super safe. So then you're like better. But when you don't know much stuff, that's when like conspiracies start or like, anxiety for people or whatever. But yeah, the only time I think I've ever had, not anxiety, but I was like, is like driving in San Francisco.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I just, flying on plane used to really bother me. And then I always saw this stat that the safest job in the world was being a commercial airplane pilot. And I was like, all right.
But dude, imagine a pilot just having a bad day that day.
Well, I mean, it's a totally different thing.
That's
right?
a different, yeah. Just, I guess that's on luck too. Like the odds of that probably are pretty bad, or pretty good to never happen. But, guy gets his wife cheating that morning and he's the pilot and gets on the plane.
That happened.
Sayonara.
Did it happen? That Malaysian flight, they were all kind of like conspiracies about what happened with that guy. Pilot, he was just fucked. And then other people were like, no, they could just rerouted him this way and never to be seen from again.
Yeah, that was a crazy documentary.
Yeah.
Without a ending.
Very
no happy
true.
ending on that Malaysian.
Yeah, no. But but there's a guy you saw the same documentary then on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy's like, there's a guy out there just like looking for plane parts to wash up on shore, and he's found several in an area that's like more conspiracy type, but now it's becoming like, but documentaries anymore, I question them. So
yeah. Oh yeah. A documentary that's going to be coming out within the next 10 years. Surviving Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
You see he got raided
this
week?
I haven't followed up on too many of the details, but I was like, because the thing I saw was like an aerial view and it said it looks like his sons were being arrested. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, so is he, you can fill me in here, but so is he in on all this? Is that the thought, or is it just they were after his kids, or
no, he's
sex trafficking?
He's the bad guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I think his sons were just detained because they were there. So they, pull the people out, detain them so they could go through the house. It was Homeland Security.
Yeah.
So they raided his LA and Miami mansion.
Right.
Looking for. So this happened. So he had that lawsuit with Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, fiance, or whatever she was. And that came out public. The very next day he paid her. He settled out of court with her. Which is kind of one of those things where it's, well, that was pretty fast.
Yeah.
You must have done something. You don't want everything to come out,
Right.
Because I'm sure with that settlement, there comes discretion where she can't talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, so that was pretty appropriate of him to do, you know? And then after that, a few other things have come out. But just recently, I think one of his, someone that was in his camp, like his manager or someone, came out with other things, allegations. And since that one, I think they were kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. He's no problem. But since he came out now, it's like stirred it all up again. And they're like, okay, now we have enough to like go search his houses and stuff like that.
Jesus. So is this trafficking women, children?
I think women.
Okay. I don't understand how people get to a point in their life where they're like, especially like when you got someone famous like that, you know, and of course, like conspiracy world is like, oh, well, I mean, you see these guys doing it. Of course, politicians are in on it or something, you know, but where you're so well off and you're still like, oh, this needs to happen.
Well, no punishment, no nothing. Like you're on top, invincible. There's people with less money and less status that do shit like that because they don't get caught. So these people are like totally untouchable.
Right.
So I think really what happened is the whole Tupac thing. You know, since the whole Tupac thing came out, that he, you know, put the hit out on Tupac and paid $1 million to have Tupac killed and stuff.
Right.
I think people like that were within his camp and that were wronged by him were like, all right, well, this guy's coming out with it, and I can come out with what happened to me.
Right.
And then that's when I think they got maybe brave enough to like come out and be like, hey, I'm suing you, or this is what happened. So like once that starts happening and then people start seeing like, oh shit, like they're in the spotlight, everyone else starts coming out, right?
Right.
So that's what happens. And I think he had a good run where he's so powerful where he intimidated or maybe paid off people where it was all hush hush, you know?
That's fucking insane to me.
Yeah. And one of the things I heard was the reason they raided his homes were because they're trying to find tapes, because they said that a lot of times he filmed a lot of the stuff they did. Right. But it's not just because of him. It's because it also implicates other famous people.
Oh,
famous,
shit.
powerful people, because it was basically Jeffrey Epstein.
I was going to say, we're going to loop back to Epstein right now?
So it was like that, I think, where he has video of other wealthy, famous people doing shit that they shouldn't be doing.
Why the fuck? I don't get it. They're like, dude, this is a good idea.
They probably do it coked up. They probably do it and laugh.
Yeah, I mean,
they probably do it and be like, we'll never get caught.
Yeah.
And I mean, say he's been doing it since late 90s till now, that's a good run of never getting caught. Yeah. Nothing happening to you.
He was Epstein's neighbor.
I don't know.
That's just fucking wild, man.
Look at the Nickelodeon dude. He's getting busted now.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that, but I don't know anything about that either.
Touching all the little Nickelodeon kids.
Oh shit.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just, people are weird, dude. But coolest thing that came out of this, besides him, you know, hopefully getting punishment for the
Did he flee or what?
I don't know. They said right after that happened, he was his plane took off to Antigua or something like that. But then when it landed, he wasn't on there. And then he was spotted at the Miami airport, like pacing, like nervous, at a little small airport. So I'm not really sure. But my thing is, like, if they wanted him arrested, they would have arrested him.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying.
They're just serving a warrant or something.
Yeah, they wanted to raid his house to get as much evidence as possible. Right. And then later they're going to arrest him.
Yeah. And for all we know, maybe they just found his kids with some drugs or something.
Yeah. So who knows? But the best thing, you remember the phrase, I don't know, like late 2000s into the teens, no homo?
Yes.
So when you say something questionable in that realm, you say no homo.
Right.
Hey, nice jeans, Dave. No homo.
Yeah.
You know? That's not the word anymore.
What is it?
No diddy.
No. Okay.
Which I like a lot.
Has he got some homosexual tendencies wrapped up in those?
Yeah, because he supposedly banged a few famous rappers.
Why?
Or vice versa?
Which is funny because rappers are pretty notorious for like being anti-gay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's just weird, bro. Don't fuck around.
Uh-huh.
And now it's like, Diddy has it away with you.
Yeah. No Diddy.
Yeah. No Diddy.
But I think that goes with everything. I think that goes with just even like being a weirdo.
Okay.
Like, so it could go for a wide spectrum, because it's not only that he was like doing some, gay things with guys.
Yeah.
But then also like being an abuser to women.
Right.
And then maybe getting with females that were underage. So it's a wide thing. It's not just one thing that he did.
Right.
Right. So that goes for anything.
Jesus. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All these. So why did the gay stuff come out though?
People are just coming out saying like he does some gay stuff.
Oh, okay. I was like, because that's not illegal, obviously. So.
No, that's more to ruin more of your.
But that was just like
reputation,
and maybe he was bribing them.
Yeah.
Get your record label, if you diddy me.
Yeah, but the raid happened. The very next day, he sold all his shares to Revolt, which was a lot. So he's
what's Revolt? Is that a record label?
Revolt is like Spotify,
okay,
and Apple Music.
Oh, okay,
yeah, something like that.
So he's just trying to cash in and keep his.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought it, hopefully at a discount.
Well, a anonymous person bought all his stake in it.
Oh, I see.
So who knows? Probably like his son.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But right after the first Cassie lawsuit, he actually, I think, stepped down from a lot of stuff. Like, cause he had like Ciroc vodka and a lot of other things like that. He either sold or stepped down from a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You're not really doing that if,
Right. He knows.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
We better. Well, and he's doing them a favor too.
Yeah. No diddy.
Jesus. Well, will he kill himself in prison or?
No, probably not.
You don't think so?
I mean, R. Kelly's still alive.
That's true.
He'll be. All the memes and everything have been great. I think there's a song with those two guys together, and they put the music video and they're like, this is R. Kelly and Diddy in prison performing.
Jesus.
And shit like that. So.
That's why the internet's so great.
Mm-hmm. Question though, so this happened, and I've been listening to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Nonstop Diddy music.
Really?
Yeah. And not weirdo music saying no Diddy.
Yeah.
Nonstop Puff Daddy music on the radio.
Huh.
So,
so you're listening to what kind of radio? Like Sirius or?
No, just like the regular radio stations around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That do like rap and, R&B and stuff like that.
Right.
It's a lot of that kind of music that's, usually they'll play it or whatever, but not at this rate.
Maybe they're getting paid extra now.
Yeah, I don't know. But what's your thought on people listening to music after something like that happens? A lot of people say it's a big no-no to listen to like R. Kelly.
Right.
Because of the stuff he did. I think Michael Jackson kind of gets a pass just because he was never convicted, or there wasn't really,
Yeah.
There's the tale of like he did certain things.
Right.
But it never, like, we don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, you could assume, but we don't physically know. Like R. Kelly, we know, and he was convicted and he's in prison for it.
Right.
So it's a big no-no to listen to. If we have a group of 5 people here and I start talking about R. Kelly and how I love his music, probably at least one person's going to be like, dude, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, how could you listen to a pedophile's music? So what do you think about that?
That's a tough one. It really depends on the crimes committed. I mean, heinous sex trafficking. Yeah. I mean, you got to kind of boycott that shit. I mean, if it's on the radio, I'm not going to be like, we got to turn this off. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to go out of my way to find it either. Yeah. So that's kind of like my take. Like, it's like.
Well, so who's like a favorite artist? Like one song that you can gravitate to every time? You're not like a music person.
I'm not. Yeah. So that's kind of a interesting question, but I don't even know. I don't like. We'll Imagine Dragons. We'll do that because my kids listen to that shit constantly.
Okay, but like what? Okay, so what song though?
Believer.
Okay, Believer. So those guys turn out to be like this gnarly, just heinous group. Yeah. Would you still listen to Believer?
No.
No?
No, shit would get turned off.
I listen to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I could separate the man or woman from the artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and I've said this before. When someone's like legendary, GOAT status, or like just the best at what they do,
right?
They tend to be on the weird spectrum.
I mean, that's a fair take. There's a lot of famous people that have made huge steps forward for humanity that are fucked up individuals.
Yeah, when you look at it, you're like, dude, that guy was a weirdo, or they did some weird shit, or it comes out that they actually did do some gross things. But I think in a way that's why they were that good at what they did. But like the talent is one thing, and then the person, I'm not supporting that they did this,
right?
But their music is still
right.
You know what I mean? So from a consumer of music and a lover of music, I'm like, man, that's a good song.
Yeah. But,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't try to go out of my way to listen to that stuff anymore. But
hey, all I know is
if it's on a playlist or something, like I said, if it just comes on, I'm not going to be like, oh, we got to turn this off.
I mean, all I know is Diddy made all of Notorious B.I.G.'s music. You know, Juicy, all those. And those were like produced by Puffy. Ad-libs by Puffy and everything, so, and that's like some of the best music ever in my opinion. Like Juicy from Notorious B.I.G.
Right.
I'm always gonna listen to that. Doesn't matter who was in it.
Okay.
You know. So but that's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those situations now where. But I just think it's funny that all this is happening and then the radio stations are really pumping out his music.
Yeah, that's weird. Now. That's really strange. You think you just notice it more? Or
no, it's on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't listen to the radio much, but like I'm saying, like it. I have been in my Ford,
right?
You know, so I'm like,
in the new truck,
and in my new old truck,
yeah.
So I'm like, damn, dude, they're playing a lot of Puffy music.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but you know, I've always kind of been like that. Like I used to think like, oh, I got to boycott things that I don't like or whatever, you know, companies, and now I'm just like, nah, I don't really care.
Well, as a society, we don't like stand together.
Mm-hmm.
So like you doing it won't make a difference.
Right.
Like if people boycott Starbucks, other people are still going to go to Starbucks. Or even Target when they started doing the No Diddy Pride at a Target with like in the kids section.
Right,
you know?
right.
And people were like outraged when the whole Budweiser thing was, or Bud Light, whatever it was.
Well, they took it in the fucking shorts, Bud Light did.
They did because it was real men.
Yeah.
It was like men saying like, we ain't drinking your shit.
Yeah.
But like Target, who shops at Target? Not real men.
Right.
You know,
I mean, that's true. I mean, I don't shop at Target and I try to keep my wife away from there at all costs as well. But
I mean, we go, but you know,
because it's overpriced.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too expensive.
Kids' clothes is pretty good though.
Is it?
We buy the kids' pants there and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll check it out. But yeah, for the most part, you know,
that's probably like the most maimed fucking store on the internet, just because all the husbands that are like, hey, I figured out how to save us $375 on shampoo.
Yeah.
How's that? And they pull up and like, it's always like, oh, he just pre-ordered it and they bring it out to the car. And he's like, oh, good, we're done.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. It's funny.
But yeah, people were trying to boycott Target. It never happened, you know? So we don't stand as a community really in the United States, I think, with like when it comes to like boycotting certain things, because other people will still go.
Right.
So
right.
So that's the thing. So that's kind of where I've always learned, and I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
If the companies are doing their job as far as marketing and all that and attracting customers and new customers, they're always going to have customers, whether these people get sick of it or not. Like that's someone's job is to do that at that company.
Right.
So, you know, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to the music, but if it's on, it's on, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stand up in the middle of a crowd and be like, no, we must turn this off, you know?
Yeah.
But.
All right. I got a new segment.
Okay.
I stole it from another podcast.
A new segment. Oh, shit.
It's called For the Boys, Rapid Fire Topics.
Okay, great.
But before we get into that, you have anything for me?
No, not entirely. Sam Bankman-Fried got sentenced, I think today. Was it today or yesterday?
Guy?
Yeah,
today?
crypto guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Swindled like $10 billion away. I just asked you this question before we started, but I looked and it said like it took him less than 5 hours to deliberate the jury and come to, I don't know if they sentenced him, you know, if they came up with the fair trade or they just found him guilty. I don't know which one it was, but I always look at that. I'm like, what took him? Like he was guilty, so what took him so long?
Yeah, they found him guilty and he's been in prison.
Yeah,
and then now then they have a later date for the sentencing.
Well, he's been sentenced to 25 years.
Yeah, and that was today.
Okay,
so that's what happened.
Yeah.
So he's been in prison, but then they have a separate date to do the sentencing.
Yeah,
and then I think that's more towards the judge
Right. Okay.
You know? Yeah. So that's what happened today. He had his date for that. And then the judge came out saying, hey, you get 25 years, my guy.
Is it worth it? 10 bill?
I mean,
he donated a shitload of money to, like, I think the Democratic National Committee and to what?
He was playing both parties.
Oh, okay.
To the Republicans and Democrats.
Right.
Yeah.
He had all kinds of celebrities on board with him and shit.
No, that is not worth it because basically his run was from like maybe 2020 to what, 2022?
Yeah.
So 2-year run.
Yeah.
So like if he was like being out there like P. Diddy, where his run is like 30, 40 years, that might be worth it.
Right. Yeah.
But not the stuff he did, but like the Sam
committing a crime that's going to cost you 25 years.
Yeah, like he just did like, you know, money stuff.
Right.
Which is like whatever. If Puffy did that, then cool. Then it's totally worth it for him.
Yeah.
But because he's lived a good life, but yeah, he's actually hurting people, so it's different. But yeah, that's not worth it for 25 years for a 2-year span of kind of living like a king.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty short, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And I don't know if
who
he
knows
saw
what
his
kind of assets was it? Yeah, but wasn't he doing some no Diddy shit?
Yeah, but I don't know if he saw his girlfriend, so I don't know how great of a life he was living. It wasn't like he was Leo and pulling some hot 25-year-old.
No, I thought they were in some island in a bunker, like doing all men, women, everything in between.
Yeah, but did you see his girlfriend is what I'm saying.
No.
That's the quality of ladies they had out there.
They're all crypto nerds, so.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was worth it.
Okay. Do I have anything else? I thought there was something out there that I was the last podcast we had a few heated debates and I was like, what is some of those subjects? But I'll pass. Go ahead.
On yours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a few things out there that I was like, damn, that's worth talking about.
If you guys want to tune into another podcast, check out Two Dumb Hunks. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Two Dumb Hunks. Check it out
on Spotify.
We basically just cover news topics with my co-host, and they get pretty heated. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. But
yeah,
we argue about ridiculous shit like tipping. What's the proper tip amount? And no, that was one topic actually. That was a good discussion. I think you and I actually already talked about it. But the basics was I'm gonna get this wrong, but basically a national. Was it the retail? What's the inventory of houses? I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know.
Okay. Great.
The MLS?
No, not the MLS, but basically the one of the biggest organizations that's in charge of like selling houses and
like the realtors.
Yeah, realtors. Sorry, yeah. Jesus. So like the National Retailers Association just got a lawsuit for basically hundreds of millions of dollars based around the fact that the commissions they charge is too high, which is like 6% is the standing amount, and it's always been that way. And we had a heated discussion about should they get that much, and should there be a base, or is it always just 6%? So if I'm selling my $1 million home, which now could be a shithole in San Francisco somewhere, should they get $60,000 of that money for basically doing the same job versus, a $200,000 house?
Yeah, that's a good point of view on it because in our area or where I want to buy a house right now, a lot of those homes went from high 500s, low 600s, or even mid $100,000 homes to the pandemic happening and all of them being over like $1 million, 1.5, even $2 million homes. So it's like, that's a big increase.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So when you have a house that like 2 years ago sold for 400 and now you're trying to sell it for 9, and then, you're going to get charged a 6% for realtor fee or whatever.
Right. And that burden goes on the home seller. And part of that discussion went into, well, if you're making money, why is it a big deal? But what if you're not making money? You still have to pay it. I mean, either that or let your house get foreclosed on and you lose the whole thing anyway, Well,
another point of view that like your co-host didn't bring up that I would bring up is like, he was all like, well, my house is worth this now. Yeah. So if I sell it, I'm making a lot still. But it's like, but why are you selling your home?
Right.
Are you selling it to get another home, or are you selling it and then you're going to pocket that money and just rent a house and just, then that's understandable. But if you're selling it, and everything you're making on your home is to put into another home that's bigger or that's more expensive, you're going to want to get everything possible for your home. Right. You don't want to be paying 6%, $60,000 to the realtor, when, half of that could go into your home.
Right.
Or like what I was saying, like part of it can go into like, if you have 2 cars, you could pay off one of your cars. And then that way, that money that you pay for, $600, $700 a month that you pay for your car payment, you could put it into your new home.
Right.
For your mortgage, So that's what, like, it's like I listen to your guys' podcast and it's funny because you guys just argue and fight each other. So I just kind of laugh about it. But,
right.
Thinking logically, I'm like, well, dude, I don't know if he's ever thought of that. Like, why are you trying to sell your home? Are you just trying to get rid of it and then live in an apartment? Cool. Are you trying to get rid of it and get a different home? Then you might need all that money,
right?
Which he's willing to give.
Or just fucking put it in a retirement account if you don't think you actually need it. Like something. Like, why are you going to give up your future income? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, the gist of the story was that they were, there was a huge lawsuit for like $480 million, basically about unfair practices on commission. And I don't know if the outcome of that's going to be like they can talk about negotiating commissions going forward, or if they just lower it across the board. But basically they stand as almost a union for realtors. Retailers.
Do you know who's suing them?
Yeah, like a class action lawsuit. So like a group of people that have just paid, out the ass for this stuff. And it's like,
so I'll get a thing in the mail saying like, if you paid 6% to your realtor in this time frame.
Yeah, maybe, right?
You can get 100.
And it's like, it's not such a blind topic because I mean, when times are slow, like things seem to be slowing down now for home sales, like realtors take it in the ass. I mean, they really do. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, with this influx of home sales going on, plus the increase of house prices. So now they just sold a shitload of homes and they pocketed, the difference in increase amongst those homes in the last 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like, they should be sitting pretty well off. Hopefully they're not out there blowing it on,
Well, and I think it's kind of like any industry sometimes. Like there's the highs and the bads, right? So like you
the financial industry.
Yeah, like you just said, there was a time right now where I think they were killing it.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't do something with that, and then now this happens and everything gets lowered, and now you're going to be hurting, that's your own fault.
Right.
Like you got to be financially literate, So, I don't know.
Any realtors out there, hit us up in the comments. Let us know your side of the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys are probably not.
Also, something specific I want to know about is how much, like if you work for Remax and that take is 6%, how much of that do they keep? Because that can make a huge difference. I think we talked about that briefly. We had different thoughts on where that money actually comes from, but.
Well, I know the licensing person, which is Remax or the company Chase or whatever international, they're the ones that keep most of that money, and then the realtor only gets like a small percentage.
Right. Okay. So I don't know.
But that's what I said. Like, so if you're like an established realtor and you've been doing this a long time, like you should probably consider opening up your own, I guess, realtor company.
Right. Right.
But it must be harder than I say it is.
Yeah.
Because otherwise everyone would do it.
Yep. And
still like Remax, Charles Kitchen, Chase International, or like the Coldwell Banker. Those are like the top ones, that you hear about.
Yep.
But then I've gone.
Sorry, the sparkling water has got me burping like no other. I'm like holding it in.
So I've gone to open houses.
Yeah.
And they give me their paper or whatever flyer, and I'm all, who the hell is this guy? Like
Oh, right.
I'm like, I've never even heard. I ain't buying your house. I've never even heard of you guys.
Oh my God.
No, but yeah, there are a lot more nowadays, I think.
Right. All right, rapid fire. What do you got?
All right.
Hit me with your best shot.
Iowa girls basketball star and NCAA top scorer ever, Caitlin Clark, offered $5 million to play in Ice Cube's Big 3 tournament.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Terms is 8 regular games.
Yeah.
With the possibility of 2 playoff games that she plays. And she'll still be able to play in the WNBA if she goes to the WNBA, which
nice.
I'm assuming she probably will.
Yeah.
So,
she has like a high nail score or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it doesn't matter how much she makes from all her sponsorships and stuff, like she still gets that. So $5 million to do that.
Is there more to it?
Well, yeah. So that was the initial thing.
Okay.
And then a day later, it comes out, Dave Portnoy comes out and offers her double $10 million to play in his Barstool intramural team, I guess. I don't really know what that barstool thing is.
Okay.
Maybe just like for fun, like a rec league.
Yeah.
But he wants to pay her $10 million to play on his.
Dave's my daddy.
Yeah. And just for reference, the WNBA base salary is $76,000 per season.
Yeah, she better take that 10 mil.
Or even the 5.
Just take the 10 because you know you ain't making enough on the WNBA team.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know what the Barstool's basketball thing is, but there's no way it's bigger than the Big 3 is actually kind of a big deal.
Is it?
So it's a 3-on-3 tournaments, and they get like retired basketball players.
Oh, okay.
So there's like legit good players on the teams.
Right.
You know? And a lot of the games are on ESPN.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it's owned by Ice Cube.
Right.
So it's called the Big 3. So
maybe renegotiate with Ice Cube. Be like, hey, meet me halfway. That was the 7.5. Let's go.
Yeah, that was the thing. I wonder if Ice Cube's going to come out with a counter offer.
Yeah.
But she would be the first female to ever play in the Big 3, even though it is kind of a newer league that's been formed. But I think
that was like, what, 2 years ago?
No, it's probably been like at least 5 now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's just you don't really hear about it, but people that are into basketball for sure watch it.
Yeah.
ESPN. But first female to ever play on it, I think that would be a big look for her. I don't know, $5 million, and then all her sponsorships, and she plays in the WNBA.
Yeah.
And she only has to play 8 games. And if she does good,
but you don't know much about the mural team, right?
No. And if she does good, maybe they bring her on for the next year with even more money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can lose on that.
Hey, all I know is she's sitting pretty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good for her.
But do you think she could pull more than the average? She should be able to pull more than the average salary anyway from the WNBA, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So,
but I don't know. I don't know what a top WNBA salary is.
If the average is less than 80, the
the
high is probably not going to be much more.
Just say like a Brittany Griner, because when she came out of school, she was actually like one of the top. Like she could dunk and stuff.
Yeah.
So she was a top player. So maybe like $2 or $3 million.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe even still like that $5 million is still better than any of the highest paid WNBA.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And $5 million for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Or like a season, probably 8 games. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
awesome.
That's pretty cool. Good for her. Paralyzed man, Nolan Arbaugh.
Oh, here we go.
29 years old. He was implanted with the Neuralink.
Yes.
He was playing Mario Kart using his brain only.
Yeah, I heard he was up for like 2 days playing video games. I don't know if that was like nonsense or what, but
maybe. I don't know like the specifics if he's been paralyzed his whole life or it was an accident, but just imagine like never being able to play. And all of a sudden you can, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. He's been playing chess, having conversations with people from my understanding, and then playing a lot of video games.
And he's probably like better than controllers, better than control players.
Wow, yeah.
Just using your brain
would work, right? Because you don't have to tell your thumb to hit the button.
Exactly.
I wonder if anyone ever actually thinks like that, like thumb hit button, like because when you're playing, you just do it. You know what you got to do.
Yeah.
Thumb hit button.
So maybe it is a lag. Maybe it's enough of a lag for like your brain to tell your hand to move.
Right.
It's the same for your brain to tell the Neuralink.
Yeah, I mean there's got to be a learning curve on that. I would imagine. Like what are you telling to do? Like just. Wow.
Well, I just imagine him being like just moving in his eyes, and the fact that his eyes are moving like this, jumping or whatever, is telling his brain to do that, and then the Neuralink is controlling all that.
Right.
That's kind of what I figured. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe he's even better at video games than most people because it's more precise.
Yeah, maybe so, huh? What games could he play that's pretty precision? Call
of Duty.
Yeah.
To like be running around and then just like turn and start shooting someone and stuff like that.
Damn, that's a pretty fast paced game.
Yeah.
That'd be a good test.
Yeah. But
stay tuned. Right?
Saying future's here, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll see. That's the start of it. Like obviously I think people because I don't know if the promise was Neuralink, you'll get it, and all of a sudden you'll be able to walk again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's their end game, but
yeah. So I think that was like in the conversation at first. So like for someone to get it and then playing video games, cool, and playing chess and maybe being able to talk, cool.
Yeah.
But the end game is this. So let's get closer to that, and then that's when we can start saying like, all right, dude, the future is this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a long way to go. I mean, and then, is someone able to, I mean, I wouldn't imagine it's going to mess with their organs or anything, but I mean, they do all kinds of transplants now, testing. People die in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Pig livers and shit.
Well, I mean,
there's someone that just had one. I don't know if it's a liver or kidney, but from what I know, he's still alive. Longest living survivor with that transplant. It might even be the first one that's been done. So.
Yeah, but I mean, one person, I don't like those odds.
Well, yeah, but when you got no other choice, I mean,
yeah,
have at it.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs a law banning Florida kids under 14 off social media. I don't know if it's passed or if it's actually gone.
Yeah, he signed it.
So he signed it.
Yeah, so it takes effect January 1st next year.
Nice.
Thoughts?
I mean, I don't really care. It's all up to their parents.
Right.
I think we need to parent more than people do.
Yeah.
I parent my kids, but
right.
Other people don't. If your kid has a smartphone, put restrictions on it.
Right.
If your kid, is acting up, ground them from it, put restrictions on it, like whatever. Like, but, do you want your 13-year-old kid? Because that's the thing on all social medias, you have to be 13 years old or older.
Right.
And all you got to do is click a box. It's not like, Jesus,
hello. Thanks for joining the chat.
This is my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like that hard to like start an account,
Right.
So
right. Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna, if like a parent has to create an account and then verify the other account or something. Yeah. Like that's gonna be that'll be interesting. Something similar is going on in Texas with Pornhub right now. You heard of that? They've shut it out basically. That's Pornhub's response.
Yeah, Pornhub's response was to like get it out of Texas, but it wasn't that Texas shut it out.
Right. Well, they want age verification.
Yeah,
but
and that's fine.
Pornhub's response is, oh, well, they're trending on First Amendment's rights. It's like, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
They want you to have to verify age. That's an issue.
Yeah. So that one's just going to come down to like 5 more states.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, well, we're going to do the same. Or are you going to pull out all other 5 states? No, you're not. So, it's whatever. They're just kind of bluffing right now, I think.
Right.
But the DeSantis thing, I think is cool, but it doesn't really do anything if parents don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the bottom line of a lot of legislation,
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because The Rock said so.
Well, that's the bottom line of a lot of legislation. Like I mean, just fucking pick a topic. It's almost always the same. Hey, we need to put this in place to stop this. And well, what's the actual root of the problem? And what you just said, parents don't really care.
Yeah.
And the kids are running around on these fucking phones and they just see all kinds of stuff and start thinking that that's normal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that behavior is normal. Like the prank culture. Mm-hmm. Of like, oh, it's just a prank. Some dude's getting murdered. It was a prank. Yeah, motherfucker. Welcome to the real world.
Dude, I heard P. Diddy's lawyer said that was going to be their main defense. It was just a prank.
Nice.
I just made that up.
Okay. Well, but in this specific problem, yeah, I totally think it comes down to the parents caring more.
Yeah.
And paying attention to their kids, and doing that. And it's weird because my wife's a school teacher and she's got to deal with. She's at a private school even, and she's got to deal with parents sometimes that basically have a stance of my kid didn't do anything wrong. And like, so we called you in here because we like to waste your time and my time, or, it's just weird that parents have that stance. I'm always like talking to my kid. I'm like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
Like, why am I getting an email right now? What's going on? Like in my eyes, it's always he's guilty until proven innocent. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
Teacher doesn't just call me out because your behavior is excellent.
Yeah. And that's parenting. And I think, some people might lack that, so whatever. But I don't know. I think it's more like these people are trying to do more headlines. I think the law is more for a headline than actually DeSantis caring.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my
trying to champion his own base or something.
Yeah, something like that. Study shows children that were bullies in school earn more money throughout their lives.
I can believe that.
Or compared to socially awkward kids.
Right.
Yeah.
I can totally believe that.
I could believe that. Obviously, like if you're kind of like a bully and you're out there, you're more aggressive. So
just that's exactly. I think that's exactly how it comes out to. Is just being more aggressive in the workplace and just having a natural knack for pointing out weaknesses. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing, but in the workplace environment, it's just a little bit different. But you know how to work an avenue a little bit better. Thinking about it, same thing as like criminals not that they're the same thing, but criminals come up with all kinds of ways to steal shit that you'd never think of because you're not trying to steal shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I always wonder. I'm like
you guys were talking about the tinted windows thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, oh shit. When I was listening to that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I always wonder like how people like do things, even just like in like Call of Duty per se. And it's not like criminals, but it's like, how do you figure out to cheat like that?
Right.
Like there's someone that just goes into the game and plays like everything possible.
Yeah. Like, oh, what if I slide, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it's going to be.
I slide into this rock and then I'm under the map and then I can just go around and shoot everyone and they can't see me. It's like someone like figures that out.
Right.
So it's the same thing with what you're saying with like people that are like bullies or criminals or whatever. They like figure out a way to do things.
Right.
You know, and that translates into good things and bad things. But I will say, I don't know when the study just came out recent. It's a fairly new article, but I don't know the data of how long it was. You know, it could have been like in the 90s, 2000s and stuff like that. So with that being said, I think now though, we are seeing a big change with socially awkward kids because now the socially awkward kids are doing what? Streaming. Yeah. YouTube.
Yep.
Playing games and shit. And those guys are killing it.
Yeah.
So TikTok.
Yeah.
Instagram. Like all that kind of stuff.
But yeah, I think those are probably the lucky few, right? We think there's
But I
maybe
think
a couple hundred of them.
I don't know, dude. It seems
because
like
there's millions of socially awkward kids out there that are like.
Yeah. But it seems like, I mean, every other account you look at, I know people could fake stuff, but like every other account you look at, it's like, dude, they got 1 million+ followers, and
right,
dude, it's like, you know, I'll
that'd be good. That'd be a good research topic. Just see how many 1 million+ followers are like Twitch user base has.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't know if you can access that, but just that in general to kind of give you a good idea as to what's going on.
But it's just a thing where like, you know, a new person might come onto your feed, whatever you watch on social media, on your feed, and then you're like, oh, that was kind of funny, and you go to their page and they have like millions of followers, and you're like, holy shit, and you click millions of views, and you're like, never once have I heard of this person.
Right.
But they've been killing it. They have such a huge fan base, but I never heard of it. It just casually appeared on my timeline today, and I clicked it, and it was funny or whatever. But you never even knew this person existed. Right. So there's a lot of those people, you know, like I could bring up names right now where like the listeners will be like, never heard of them. Right. But you say it to these other people and they're like, oh yeah, I love Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was just listening to, I think it was Joe Rogan podcast actually with Kurt Metzger, I think he is. It's one of his newest ones. But anyway, he was on there talking about being a comedian and how hard it is now because it used to be all, you know, cable TV. Like the masses followed all the same shit and happenings. And now you're on stage. Sometimes it's hard to reference just a one-off. Like everyone knows Epstein, but if he referenced Epstein, everyone kind of pretty much knows, right? Yeah. But you could try to reference other things now, and like only a small little portion of the audience would know what the hell you're talking about. And he's talking about how much more difficult it's made things without telling a full story. Yeah. But
yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's interesting. But don't be a bully. Don't be socially awkward either. Just be cool.
Yeah. Just be naturally aggressive without being a bully. How about that?
Yeah. I like that. I brought this up actually last time you were on the podcast. X-Men revamped over on Disney.
Oh, God.
So the X-Men animated series on Disney is back with great reviews.
Okay. Yeah, we did talk about animated X-Men.
So I think it came out March 20th, and I totally forgot about it. The reason I saw it, and then I saw the article today, but the reason I saw it like 2 days ago, LeBron James tweeted at Disney saying, yo, is there going to be a season 2? Because I can't wait.
Really?
And I was like, holy shit.
How much was he paid for that?
I don't know. I think he's just a legit watcher, you know?
Okay.
So I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot that was coming out, and it came out, and it sounds like he's just loving it, right? And then I was reading the article, and it just like, it basically said, you know, a lot of series are coming out, old, new, whatever. Right. And well, the old ones revamped or whatever, like part 2s or whatever it might be, and they disappoint. Right. When like you have all the feedback from the fans. This is what you need to do to make the fans happy, because they're the ones that are going to watch it. Yeah. Right. And X-Men delivered on that one. They kind of kept everything basically the same. New graphics, just like new little things here and there, and then a new series, but it's the old series still. Okay. And everyone's like, dude, this is the most amazing thing ever. So I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah. Not super into cartoons. I know that's like for adults, but I don't know. I just can't.
No, it's for kids. The X-Men 97.
I take it back. Family Guy is in my realm, but when I can't sleep at 3 a.m, that's usually what I put on. Put me back to sleep. I'm like, yeah, it kind of turns my brain off.
Yeah.
So,
but speaking of revamping and making things how they should be, and not messing them up, Happy Gilmore 2. Allegedly.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I mean, is this going to be one of those childhood letdowns, you think?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what you say right now. I cannot wait till you watch it and you're like, dude, I could have wrote a better script for that.
I mean, that's bound to happen.
You know, you type it, I'll type it in.
They're AI looking at, they're calling out Paige to get on the, what's the hot chick's name with the pitcher of water?
I forget her name, but Big Tip Paige, sporadic, and allegedly Tiger Woods as Chubbs Peterson Jr.
My God. I mean, it's kind of getting set up to be something cool.
And Shooter McGavin is still in it as the same guy.
Right.
And he did tweet out a picture of Adam Sandler wearing, because, you know, he dresses like shit.
Yeah.
So wearing like basketball shorts with like probably like Doc Martens or something and big ass baggy. He's like, there's no way I lose to this guy twice.
Right.
Referring to the new Happy Gilmore. So it does seem like it actually is moving along.
That's pretty cool though.
With the guy that I don't know his name, but the guy that plays Shooter McGavin.
Okay.
So
I don't know his name either.
Yeah.
That's like a fuck it. I'm just gonna fuck that up. Never mind.
Yeah. But
David Hasselhoff lookalike kind of.
Yeah,
like,
kind of a little bit.
Like a little parallel there.
Bit younger.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit younger. But yeah, that's the thing, like exactly what I'm saying. Like we know, or the people making this movie should know kind of like what Happy Gilmore fans and Adam Sandler fans kind of expect from an Adam Sandler movie, especially back in the day, not nowadays. The blueprint's there. So hopefully you could keep to the blueprint and make Happy Gilmore 2 awesome.
Right.
But yeah, that might not happen. That's the problem.
Let me leave you with something.
Okay.
A thought, our viewers. So recently I saw that for March Madness, they duplicated the bracket system and did, and I know you probably heard of this already, but for everyone else that hasn't, they recently put a bracket out for the all-time antagonists in movies. So they have all the villains, right? Naturally in the brackets, and they range from Darth Vader, Hannibal Lecter, Scar from Lion King, a few others. Anyway, can you name the biggest villain of all time?
Yeah, dude, I listen to your podcast.
Okay, well, I'm just saying
the
for
Joker.
Everyone else. Come on,
Heath Ledger,
for
Joker.
the people, man. Yeah. So ultimately, it broke down. Top 4 was Scar, Darth Vader, Heath Ledger's Joker. It just says the Joker, but it doesn't say. But the picture they gave was Heath Ledger, and who was the Who was the 4th one? I don't know, but he lost.
The dude from Harry Potter.
Yeah, I think it was Lord Voldemort.
Yeah,
Voldemort?
I've never seen that shit, but
okay. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah,
I don't know. I mean, you know, I feel like there's just because Harry Potter is so big. Like I've never watched it,
right?
So I couldn't tell you if the guy's really a good villain or a bad villain or whatever. I've watched other movies that have pretty bad guys in it.
Right.
You know?
I think a lot of it, and it was public voting. So,
okay.
So it wasn't like critics were deciding who was gonna, but yeah, so those were the four top ones. So they're all like kind of performance based or like emotion, which ones drew the most emotion out of you, you know, during the films. And so I think it came down to Darth Vader and Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
And so Joker took it, but it was kind of neat to see. I mean,
Bane was kind of more.
I don't even know if he was in there, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. Like Bane.
That's a good call.
Yeah, Bane kicked the shit out of the Batman.
Yeah, it was pretty violent.
Scar. I don't know about that one.
I mean, in your childhood, come on, it's pretty detrimental.
There's probably other worse ones, but I saw a TikTok. Did you know that Scar, the word in like Zimbabwe, means lion?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
So it's lion.
There it is.
Yeah.
My Uncle Lion. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This is another episode of Hanging with the Boys.
Thanks for hanging, guys.
Yeah. We'll be back next week. Make sure you tune in. Until then,
peace.